So another tough weekend, Coach.
Yeah.
Obviously, still some learning experience. What did you take away from this past weekend? Obviously, you still able to get the mid-series win on Saturday. So what did you take away from this weekend?
Well, we started out on Friday night. I thought Ian threw good. We like to get him to a higher pitch count. We had to move on to get a little bit of matchup, but we're in the game till it was actually really good 6 innings. I felt like it was competitive. We really started out. We had bases loaded and no outs, and then we get 2 strikeouts and a fly out to left field. And it kind of set an unfortunate tone, and we could have changed it around immediately. Struck out way too much. I think we struck out 15 times. The only walk that we had was the first walk of the game, and I thought Bannister, did a good job coming back and throwing strikes and did what he had to. But it's not. I didn't feel like he was a pitcher that should beat us. But he just commanded a couple pitches that they were able to get us out, and then we had some errors and some miscommunication later on that just kind of turned it into, the way it was. As we went into Saturday, we, got off to a good start, and we were able to play what I feel is our type of game offensively. And in those types of games, we've done well in when we can press and steal bases and bunt and do those things. That's the type of team that we want to be and can be. Ward was just okay on Saturday. Didn't throw a lot of strikes, but was able to get out of innings. He can be good when he commands a fastball, and he's got a really good breaking ball. He can get anybody out at any time. So he helped us out and stayed in as long as he could. And then Ryan Walker did a good job. I'd say at the tail end of his innings, he was not good. He started walking some kids, and Sunich came in and closed it out, and I thought he was very competitive. And then on Sunday, we were up a couple runs, doing what we can do, stealing some bases, and I think it started out with a pop fly out in left field that really should let our shortstop catch, and we called him off and dove for the ball, and it turned into three runs for the inning, and then it kind of chip away. We don't field the bunt that we're supposed to on both sides that were, in my opinion, very easy reads and something that we work on and practice in depth on a daily basis. But I thought I saw some good things out of the game. Chandler Greenfield came in and did a really good job. Threw a lot of strikes, kept us in the game. Kobe Neely had to get up 3 times this weekend and showed some gutsy performances that way. Damon Jones, we got to get him to another level. It's getting closer. He can come in and it's been good for an inning or a batter here and there, and we've got to get him a little more consistent with that. But, all in all, I felt like we should have won 2 games. I really do, and it's been, third, fourth weekend that we've been right in the middle to win it. But we got to get better on the last day, and the things that we address this weekend as we prepare for a really good Oregon State team, and continue. Right now the lineups we're changing different things. On Saturday we ran both of our catchers out there. Don't have an extra catcher right now, but we let both right-handers in the lineup. Served to be good. Ty Johnson had an incredible weekend at the plate, a very good weekend, and so it was nice to see. But we got to get a little more consistent with our outfield play, the way that we're catching balls, what we're doing at the plate. And I know those kids. I know Dugan Shire is better than what he played this weekend. I know Derek Chapman is better than what he played this weekend. I know Cameron Frost is better than what he played this weekend. But we're trying to find a lineup that's competitive, not for a couple of ABs, but for 3 games straight. So we'll keep working at it as we go into this week and get ready for Oregon State.
Parker McFadden and Riley Rydell were 2 starters. You had 10 starters recently. They both came out of the bullpen this weekend. Is that kind of a thing you just want to see this weekend, or is that more kind of a permanent, kind of still working with the starting rotation and seeing who's there and who's not?
Still working with starting rotation right now. Ian Hamilton, we have tabbed to start this weekend. Right now, Coach Spencer and myself and Coach Horner will take a look at matchup and see, who we can start, who we feel good about, and play game by game, hitter by hitter.
And obviously this weekend you have Oregon State nationally ranked.
Mm-hmm.
The program kind of Is this maybe a weekend that they can get motivated because it's a national ranked team versus just another Pac-12 team, or I guess how do you kind of use that national high ranking to maybe get the players going and see if that gets it out?
My hope is that we're going to be at home, under an environment that they're used to. I feel like we've got a weekend with alumni and tailgater, and it is a very good Oregon State team. So I think knowing their fans, there will be a lot of fans here. If you can't get excited for that, then there's really no reason to be playing baseball. That's why you're here. That's why you compete, to be in an environment like this. And so that would be the hope, and we'll see what happens.
Any questions on the line for Coach Lees?
Yeah, Coach, this is Greg Heister. I'll be doing play-by-play for Pac-12 Thursday, Friday. Are you able to tell us who's going to be the starters Thursday and Friday?
Right now, we do not know. I know Ian's going to start either Thursday or Friday. We will know by tomorrow. If I was to guess right now, it'd be TBA right now for Thursday, and then Ian on Hamilton on Friday, and then TBA. Coach Spencer and I have been working on NLIs this morning and things, so we haven't got a chance to sit down. And I got laid over in Los Angeles because of overbooked flights, so I didn't get home till late last night when everybody else got home the day before. So we're going to have a meeting here shortly.
Okay, there's a lot of that going on, this overbooked flight thing. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
So is it something that you're going to look at matchups and what Oregon State might throw at you, or are you just looking at who's maybe pitching best for you right now?
Oregon State's good. Doesn't matter who you pitch. They've got good left-handed hitters. They've got good right-handed hitters. They're very solid. They execute. They do things at a championship level. So what we're looking for right now is, I guess maybe the word matchup may be, we're looking for somebody to throw strikes and compete. And so we're going to put who we think at that time will throw strikes and compete. And we'll just go from there.
As a coach, when you say that your guys have to play better, I mean, how do you do that? Is it just practice harder? Or is it how do you get them to play better?
Well, they've got to have a sense of confidence about it to start out with. They practice. Our kids practice very hard. I think we coach them up as much as possible. We've got to be able to take. We have games that we really shine. If you look at and it's usually about one game a weekend that you feel, Ian will pitch really well and another guy won't, but we don't, find ways to get some runs for one night, and the next day we're like the 27 Yankees. We can do whatever we want, whenever we want, and so we've got to get more consistent. We've got to get better play that's consistent. We got to be, live pitch to pitch, compete better at the plate. When you're looking at 10 to 15 strikeouts a game, that's not competing to me. That's giving in, and we can't just give up, 15 outs where we have no base runners. And so we'll continue to talk about the pitchers we're facing, have a plan to do that, and then hopefully execute what we believe to be, a good plan.
And Coach, obviously there's tremendous baseball tradition down there. It's a great place to play the game. How are you selling Washington State now to recruits when you're out there?
Well,
how is 2016 different than the mid-'90s?
Well, I think the town of Pullman, first of all, is a tremendous college town. I look at where kids are in other places around the Pac-12, and I think we got an environment. We still get a lot of fans at our games, and very thankful. They'll stay through there from first to ninth inning, and it doesn't matter what the score is, and they're energetic. I think we've got a campus that's very easy to get around, that everything is very, very tight here. And I think we've brought kids in from out of state who didn't know much about Washington State or a baseball program, but once they get here, they're amazed about what this place can offer. And so I think that there's a tradition here that goes very deep from a lot of years ago that still a lot of people know about. We're trying to build on that. I think we've brought in one of the better staffs in the whole country. I really believe that. We've got a championship staff here that has played and recruited and coached at a very, very high level. So in building, it all starts with recruiting. It doesn't matter, where you're at. You've got to have a recruiting base that is good and bring in good players that have a chance, to win every single day. But as far as Washington State, once kids get here, I think it sells itself, and we've seen that through recruiting already with the commitments that we've got, in the 16 class. Obviously, working on the 17 and on down. So that's majority of the things that we're selling.
And how much of this is pitching, Coach? And I know, like in basketball, you got to get a couple of key players. On a football field, you got to have your quarterback and some good skilled position players to really compete in the Pac-12 and win. What is it in baseball? How many good, great players do you need to have to get this thing to where you want it to be?
Well, it all starts on the mound, and there you can write it up however you want, but it starts on the mound, throwing strikes, making your pitches, and that's probably one of the things I'm disappointed in from the get-go. We walk way too many kids, and there's too many base runners, and we need to, really all of it needs to get better. We need to play better defense. I think we're last, when you look at fielding percentage in our league, we're sitting in last as far as fielding percentage. We're sitting last in ERA. We're sitting last in walks. So it's a combination of everything. Now, we have some young pitchers that I feel like are going to be very, very good in this program. And, they get better each week. And but there's some freshmen around the league too that are doing above and beyond the call of duty that are very good as well. So we just need to keep getting better, keep getting touches for those kids on the mound, and when there's a play to be made, to make that play. So I'd like to be able to be in a situation where we have some speed. And I think we do have a little bit of speed right now. That's probably one of the things that's actually allowing us to stay in the games when we can, and we have an offense that we can run that we feel good about with the right combinations. But right now, I think we're sitting at about 12 home runs, which is last in the league as well. I like to be able to hit a double now and then when we get runners to second. Little things like that we're addressing on an everyday basis and evaluating what we have and what we need to get to be we can talk about playing for a championship, but right now we need to just get better every day, and those things will come.
And how is the state of Washington as far as producing Division I baseball players?
Oh, the state of Washington is great, and it's good. It's one of the, I've recruited throughout the country now for 15 years, and I really like the state of Washington and what it provides. And there's a lot of schools that are up here recruiting because the state of Washington is good. So you have to do your due diligence and get on kids early, follow their progress, make them believe that this is a place that they can get better, that they can win a championship. But there's enough in the state of Washington to, as far as high school players, to do a very good job and compete at a very high level.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time. I'll see you at practice tomorrow.
Okay.
Thanks, Greg. Any other questions on the line? We've got a couple more minutes for Coach.
Yeah, Coach Lou Wright with Coug Fan. Good morning.
Good morning, Lou. How are you?
I'm doing good, and I hope you're doing the same. Could you talk just a little bit about Jacob Thurber pulling his red shirt and giving this guy a chance this year?
Yeah, I looked at what we were doing offensively, specifically versus right-handed pitching, and he'd been coming on. One of the things we we try and do with each kid is put them in the situation that they can be most successful. And at the time, and still right now, Jacob's working on a position. You know, he came in here as a catcher, didn't see him fitting in that spot, so we worked him out at first base. And that's we've got older kids that are McGrath is holding down that spot pretty good right now, and we've also got kids coming in we believe will fill that spot, next year. And so we're working on him now in left field, left and right, and that's where he's going to play this summer. But he shows the ability to hit at a very high level. He's got a little bit of power in there. The first weekend he came out, really ready to go. I felt like his intent was, exactly what we needed, kind of the boost. And I didn't see that, the same energy and our intent this last weekend. But I looked at what our current outfielders were doing, our current hitters, and wanted to, give him an option. And, we talked about it, with him. We wouldn't do anything without, him believing in what we were trying to do for him was the best for him and our team. And so we made that decision, and we're going to stick with it and keep running him out there because we believe he has that chance to hit.
Was his dad much help in the recruiting process since his dad went to Washington State?
Jacob was done. He was already signed to a letter of intent before he came here, before we got here. And so I'm sure it did. And I could see, what the last staff saw in him, as a baseball player.
And one last thing, since going into conference play, you've been using Ty Johnson a lot behind the plate. Do you see him as kind of being your solution to that position?
Well, right now he's proven that he can at least hold it down. He needs to improve behind the plate, just receiving and blocking, but he gives very good energy, and he has been hitting. Right now he's our best hitter, and for coming in as a catcher, and his arm was a little tender in the fall, didn't throw great, didn't block great. And so we moved him to the mound, and so he went, 3 months without catching or hitting at all. He was just on the mound, and then we had to make that adjustment back when J.J. Hancock got hurt, and he was our second catcher. And so I actually feel very fortunate where we're at in the catching position because he's done a good job. He needs to get better, and he's working on it. But I love his energy. He works very hard, and he's been giving us good ABs at the plate.
When you say getting better, is it blocking the ball or being able to throw out runners, or what are you trying to say there, Coach?
Well, he does a solid job of exchanging and throwing to second, but receiving and blocking, we give up as catchers. We're giving up way too many wild pitches, pass balls. Between the two, it's amounted to too many runs, and so he's got to get better that way.